In this Revit tutorial, we're going to take a look at Revit and how to use Showcase, if you're even familiar with Showcase. So Autodesk Showcase is a program that allows us to do some very cool things, and I want us to start to take a look at a few of those features starting with this tutorial. So this is pretty much our Revit to Showcase getting started tutorial. And in this tutorial, if I click on my R and come down to the suite workflows, I want to use the Showcase realistic presentation. So here are our options. You can bring your Revit model from a conceptual level right into Showcase. You can create an interactive walkthrough, and today we're going to explore the realistic presentation. So I'm going to click on that. And you'll see Revit's going to bring up dialog box that pretty much talks about the settings. And that's what we're doing. We're taking the realistic settings out of our model and we're exporting that content to Autodesk Showcase. And I'm going to hit run. I could check on this dialog box and you'll see it will bring up many of those features, but I'm just going to hit run and we're going to focus on just getting this model in to Showcase from Revit. We're going to go through the process and we're going to create some still views. So let's wait. What Autodesk is doing right now is transferring their model file, exporting it out to create an Autodesk Showcase file. Then you will see this send data to Showcase menu where it's expecting you to enter in pretty much the ground elevation for your model. And I'll tell you, I'm going to leave this at 0 for the ground, but you can change this particular data in Showcase once you've brought it in. So you can do it now during the export process, but you can modify it later as well, just so you know. Now you may notice that there are a few features that are different between Autodesk Showcase 2014, 15, 16, and so forth, but I'm using 15 for this tutorial as the professional project that I'm currently doing the work that I'm using Showcase in right now to explore some design options. That project is in Revit 2015, Autodesk Showcase 15 right along with it because the workflow is just smoother. Okay, so now Revit has fully exported our Revit model for this particular project into Showcase. The first thing I want us to do is let's take a look at the Showcase interface and let's modify a couple things. And we're going to create a still view, and I want us to create an animated cinematic view as well. So you'll see I have this toggle here at the top of my screen that allows me to see my main menu or not. So I have a menu pretty much at the top of the interface, and I have this menu down here at the bottom as well. So what I want us to do is create a view. So if I just come up here at the top of my menu and we have story, I'm going to click on story. And then I'm going to have camera shots, and you'll see there's shortcuts. I'm probably not going to use them in these tutorials because I want to make sure I'm walking you through the most simple way without having to memorize all of the shortcuts. But you can use these shortcuts over here on the menu as well. So if I select camera shot, you'll see that now we're going to have an option. I want us to create a shot. So the first thing we're going to do is come over here to my view cube, and I'm actually going to select on my axon this top corner. You can select any of them really, but what I want to do is just orient myself to the view that we want to capture here, and I'm going to just use the wheel on my mouse to scroll in a little bit. So you'll see I can rotate this thing around using the corners. So how you navigate in Showcase is very similar to Revit, so it virtually works the same way. So as soon as I find a view here that we like, I'm just going to zoom in some more with that wheel. And then I'm going to come up here with shots, and I'm just going to select create. And you'll see it gives me 3 options here in that shots panel for a still, schematic, start to end. We're going to do a still image here. And you'll see it will now give us a little preview, and I can name this. I'm going to name this top right axon. And the rest of this I'm just going to go ahead and leave alone for now. You'll see that there are other options for the motion type and for transitionings as well. But for a still image, this is the extent of what we need to change. It's pretty much renaming that. So now I have a top right. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's just look straight on at the front. And I'm going to create a view there as well. So let's come back over here to the right side to our view cube. And I'm just going to select here, and I want to get a front shot. So I'm just going to click on the front of my view cube and zoom in on this one as well. I'm holding down my wheel to just be able to pan around on the screen. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit just to make sure I've captured the whole thing. And now let's do another create. Selecting that drop down, create, and we're going to do one more still image. And we're just going to say this is our front view. So now we have a front view, and if I just select on this camera shot, you'll see I can navigate between these and many more. Now, my 3D views as part of the model did not come forward. So that's one of the reasons that you want to create these still shots directly in Showcase, so that you can navigate very quickly between different views as you move along in your project. So the next thing I want to show you how to do as a part of this tutorial, and last and final thing, is we're actually going to create a schematic view. And we're just going to do an orbit. So let's click on Create Schematic Orbit. And for this one, I'm going to change this. This is actually going to be our exterior orbit. And what we're going to change about this shot, I want us to create so this is the duration box. This is very important. For duration, we're going to leave that to be, let's do a short one. So we're going to make this 15 seconds. And I actually want to rotate from the right. So I'm actually going to change this to the right. And it's going to rotate. I could rotate it just 360 degrees, which is one full revolution around our model in these 15 seconds. I could make it halfway, whatever we're looking to do here. I'm going to have it do a full resolution. And then I'm going to hit preview. Let's use our preview box, and you'll see now it actually starts to turn the model. So maybe that's a little bit too fast. Maybe we do want to leave it at 30 seconds, but you'll see that it will just stop at one revolution, which is that full 30 seconds. And I'm just going to hit OK. Preview again. And you'll see it very slowly rotates around the model. So one of the benefits and one of the uses of Showcase is pretty much to create some of the presentation views you'll see have become pretty standard for some projects that are done as part of BIM models. And you can see that this is very easy to create here in Showcase. This is pretty much like doing a walkthrough, but we're doing it here in Showcase, and it's a schematic view, sorry. And we even have the ability to make ourselves, like if we want this Revit model to start to ascend the view of it. So let's just play around with this feature so that you can see. I'm going to have my model actually, the view of my model go up 4 meters along the way. So I'm going to hit preview, and just so you can see what this does. So you can see how the model is actually, the perspective of the model is actually getting higher as you go. And I'll tell you, one of the ways that I use this particular feature is actually going from like a front view that's going to be very low right down. So let me hit close here and let's do this. Let's start with our front view. So this is one of the reasons for creating those shots. When I come back to my front view here and click on this and then start from that front elevation view and go ahead and create another one of these schematic views. And I'm going to do orbit. I'm going to change this. I'm going to, just to make it dramatic enough that it's very visible for you, I'm going to make it move up 6 meters throughout that one revolution, 30 seconds, and we're still going to do a full orbit. I'm just going to name that for now. And let's hit preview and take a look at what exactly we have here. So you can see what's happening is actually that this perspective changes. So there you go. It becomes a presentation tool, and this can be exported, which we will deal with in another movie as I continue to show you some of the features that I'm most using in these programs coming from Revit. Very quickly, I'm able to create these and export these as AVIs and use them to demonstrate to the client and to the team where we are graphically, and just to be able to explore further design options. For this project, the orbit was very important because there's a portion of this building, the gymnasium space, as well as the center portion are actually existing conditions. And I just wanted to be able to take a look from every angle how this project is going to reshape even the massing of this community center. I hope this tutorial has been helpful for you. And if you have not subscribed to the Smart Architect channel here, go ahead and do that. There's a lot more beneficial information that's going to be coming to you, features that you may or may not even be aware that exist, and that can make things a lot easier for you in your modeling adventures, whether you're a student or a profession. So, hey, thanks a lot for watching this tutorial. Until next time.